Fighters History Dynamite!
Hey everybody, welcome back for another edition of Shoreviewken. Today we're taking a look at an excellent 2D fighter developed and published by Data East. It's Fighters History Dynamite for the Neo Geo CD, also known as Karnov's Revenge, as it features the former Data East mascot as a boss character. It was originally released in arcades in 1994 and on consoles later that same year, and it's obviously a sequel to the original Fighters History, a game that Capcom unsuccessfully sued Data East over. Dynamite brings back the original 11 characters from the first game and adds 2 new characters, Young Mi, a Taekwondo heroine from Korea, and Zazie, a karate master from Kenya. They are all brought together for the wholly original purpose of competing against each other in a fighting tournament. Aside from the Neo Geo, this game has also been ported to the Sega Saturn in Japan only, and to the Wii Virtual Console. Fighters History Dynamite is, for the most part, a fairly generic 2D fighter, but definitely a well-made one. As it was made specifically for Neo Geo hardware, this is a 4-button fighting game, as opposed to the original, which used a 6-button control scheme. Each of the game's 13 playable characters plays fairly unique from the others, and they have an array of special attacks in the typical manner of quarter circles and charge attacks, but they also have attacks that are a tad unusual for mid-90s fighters, such as double tapping or utilizing all 4 attack buttons at the same time. One feature that does set this game apart from its peers is that each character has a specific weak spot, and by attacking that spot repeatedly, you can dizzy your opponent, which adds at least a little bit of additional strategy to each match. As this is basically a direct arcade port, it only features the arcade mode to play through, along with one-on-one multiplayer, which is kind of a bummer and something that's typical of Neo Geo home versions of fighting games. No survival mode, no team battle, etc. It would have been nice to have those things included, but even without them, this is a great game just on gameplay alone. It's fast-paced, the controls are very responsive, and there's a bit more depth to the gameplay than you might expect. Plenty of possibilities to pull off some extended combos as well as counters. On the whole, there's really nothing I can complain about as far as the gameplay goes. If you've played a lot of other 2D fighters, then I don't think this game will blow you away or show you anything terribly unique, but it's very solid and fun to play, and that's really all that matters.
Big tornado! Will kick! Big tornado! Big tornado! Will kick! Big tornado!
Hell Driver!
Tiger Bazooka! Chester! Tiger Bazooka!
Shoot, shoot!
Chester! 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 Tiger!
The graphics and sound design in Fighters History Dynamite are also really good, and this is an area where you could always count on 90s Data East to come through. Just like games such as Flying Power Disc and Dunk Dream, this is a very colorful game with some large and detailed character sprites, flashy effects, and some especially nice looking backgrounds loaded with detail and animation, even some weather effects and day-to-night transitions between rounds, which is a nice touch. As far as 2D fighters from this era go, this is for sure one of the better looking ones. The sound design is great too, and like a lot of Neo Geo games ported to the CD, it ditches the original arcade soundtrack for an arranged version that takes full advantage of the CD format. So the tunes are crystal clear, and each one is appropriate for the stage and character it's paired with. Some tracks are smooth and groovy, and some are high energy and intense, and they all sound awesome. Plus there are a ton of voice samples and some particularly impactful sound effects. So all this considered, this game really is the complete package as far as fighters go. The visuals are outstanding, the soundtrack is enjoyable from start to finish, and the gameplay is fun and very easy to get into. This is definitely one of the unsung heroes of 90s fighters, overshadowed by games like Street Fighter and King of Fighters, but I'd say it's definitely in their league.
Final round, fight!
Will kick! Big tornado! Big tornado! Big tornado! Big tornado! Big tornado! Will kick! Alright!
Ray wins!
So I'm obviously a fan of this game. I think it's great, and I wholeheartedly recommend it to 2D fighting fans who might not have tried it yet. I'm sure you'll be glad you did. If you'd like a physical copy, the Neo Geo CD version is the most affordable at $20 to $30 on average, which I think it's well worth, and with the NG CD being region-free, you can't go wrong. The Saturn version typically goes for $70 at a minimum, and don't even ask about the AES version, so the CD is the way to go, or for a few bucks you can grab it on the Virtual Console while it lasts. Regardless of how you play it though, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's Fighters History Dynamite, and it's awesome.